Today, we are diving into everything you need to know about Coventry Lake, from boating rules to real estate to water quality. So if you are thinking about buying or selling near the lake, you're going to want to check this video. Let's dive in. My name is Jason Boyce. I'm a local real estate agent here in Central and Eastern Connecticut, and I have passions for fitness, real estate, and family life with my wife Jasmine and our dog Holly. On this channel, we're going to cover everything you need to know about upsizing or downsizing in the state of Connecticut. Thank you for tuning in. So let's start with location. Coventry Lake is situated in Coventry. It's about a 20 to 25 minute drive from Hartford, and you're directly east of Hartford. It's a large lake, 378 acres, which makes it one of the larger natural lakes in the area. Fun fact, its original name is actually Lake Wangumbaug, which comes from its Native American roots, but most people call it Coventry Lake. Now let's talk about boating and lake access. So Coventry Lake does allow fully motorized boats, including gas-powered engines up to 90 horsepower. Jet skis are not permitted though. Sailboats, pontoon boats, kayaks, paddleboards, all that stuff, all commonly used. There is a public boat launch available at Coventry Lake. It's just off of Main Street, which is Route 31. There's also parking there for trailers. Typically, boat launches open sunrise to sunset during boating season. And obviously, you got to follow all the deep boating regulations. There's also kayak and paddleboard access. There is a smaller launch area from the boat ramp at Patriots Park. Not necessarily public. You will need access or a sticker to access there. Patriots Park also offers public access for seasonal swimming. There are lifeguards on duty during the summer. There are also seasonal programs from Coventry Parks and Rec. Check out their website, which will be linked below for more details. There are public restrooms. There's a picnic area, small playground. Fishing is permitted, obviously with a license. So let's talk about beach stickers. So the resident beach sticker is available at Town Hall. Costs $25 for a vehicle, and you can get it at Town Hall, Parks and Rec. And the sticker must be placed in the vehicle window in order to gain access. Non-residents can also get one. There are non-resident day passes that you can buy at the gate. Currently it's $15 a vehicle Monday through Friday and $30 on weekends and holidays. There are also a couple private associations that have beachfront and docking facilities, kayak storage, but you need to live within certain streets in order to have the possibility of access to those private communities. Now, let's talk a little bit about water quality. Coventry Lake overall maintains good water quality. It is monitored regularly by a combination of the town and deep. Algae blooms are rare, but have occurred on occasion in the past. And if that's something you're concerned about, definitely check with the town and deep before swimming. There are no known PFAS issues. If that's something you want more info on, again, there are updates available through the town reports and deep. But it is overall a lake that is commonly and safe for recreational use, swimming, boating, fishing, all those fun lake activities. Now let's talk about my favorite thing when it comes to anything, real estate. All right, so talking real estate. So here you can see this shape I drew. This is kind of the area around the lake where you'd find homes. And you will see Coventry Lake is going to have more supply than some of the other lakes in the area that we've covered. In the past year, either currently active or sold, there are 36. So in order to lower this a little bit, we're going to make it in the last 6 months. And that lowers it down to 16. So let's take a look. Now, again, we don't put a lot of stock in actively listed because you can list a home for whatever you want. Doesn't mean it'll sell for that price. So we're going to focus on closed sales. Now, closed sales range from $236,000 all the way to $985,000. So a vast range. So let's start at the low end, work our way up just to give you an idea of how far your money can go. Now, This is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 560 square feet, tiny cottage on on 0.11 acres. This was listed for $229, sold for $236 in 8 days on market. So let's take a quick look. So no water view, lake walking distance to the lake. They're taking advantage of those drone shots of the lake. And here's the cottage. Little ranch. Small lot. Been nicely updated though. It's cute. New appliances. Looks like it's been renovated, painted, new kitchen. It's cute. 1 bathroom. Nice. Very nicely done lake cottage. So that sold for $236, 1 bed, 1 bath, 560 square feet. This 2 bed, 1 bath, 640 square feet, sold for $255, was listed at $269, sold for $255 after 46 days on market. Also, almost looks like a flip, looks like recently renovated, new kitchen, painted, new floors. So that sold for $255. Moving up a little bit, $270. This was a 2 bed, 1 bath, 936 square feet. This was listed at $275, sold for $270 after 17 days on market. Now this is a little cape, so it's going to have a little bit of a second floor. Now it's not as updated. A little more space. And then you got the bedrooms upstairs. This little deck. It's got a little shed. So that sold for $270. Continuing to move up, this 2 bed, 1 bath, 630 square feet. This was listed at $248, sold for $280 after 4 days on market. This one, you can see here at the bottom of Lake Road, not quite waterfront, but this one has water view, a lot closer to the water. Let's take a look. There you see. And it looks like it is part of or could be part of the Oak Grove Association if they wanted based on location. As I mentioned previously, there are a couple private associations where if you're in a certain location, you do get access to. So they have their own private beach and dock area. So that sold for $280. So I'm going to jump just to give you an idea. So now we're going to go about $100,000 higher. This sold for $376. So listed at $349.9, sold for $376 in 6 days on market. Now this one was located here. So walking distance, also across Main Street. So you would have to across Main Street to get to the lake. But here we go. This looks like, must be recently updated, built in 1954. So another Cape style. And yeah, looks like it's been updated. Looks like a flip. Nicely done. Don't hit your head. And it's a Cape, so you're going to have those low ceilings and sloped walls. But that sold for $376. Again, 1,300 square feet, so a little more room. Moving on up again, this 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1578 square feet on 0.39 acres. So a little more square footage, a little more land. This is located, okay. So this is also waterfront. Keep that in mind when we're looking at this, selling for $437,500. Now, I did see this property in person. It was rough, super dated, as you can see. And the second, I mean, not a true staircase. The second story, probably not permitted, not a real second story. Super low ceilings. So it sold for what it did a lot because of the waterfront. So that sold for $437,000, was listed at $475,000. This sold for $450,000. This also waterfront, 2-bed, 1-bath, 966 square feet on 0.32 acres. This was built in 1700s, so old. But great waterfront. Terrible pictures. An old lake cottage. But great location. So a lot of what they bought was location. That sold for $450,000, waterfront. We're continuing to move up. $570,000. This is a 3-bed, 1.5-bath, 1,300 square feet on 0.28 acres. Also waterfront. With a dock. This is a little more updated. This is one of the, so far, the nicer waterfronts we've seen. I mean, parts are dated kitchen, but more updated than that 1700s or the lake cottage. So that 3-bed, 1.5-bath, 1,300 square feet, built in 1935, waterfront. This sold for $610,000. Now this is not waterfront. This is walking distance on the outskirts. But this is 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,300 square feet on 3/4 of an acre, built in 1847, so older, but looks like it's been completely renovated and redone. Looks beautiful. Yeah, very well done. Modern, updated, it's very nicely done. Yeah. So that was listed at $579,000, sold for $610,000. And here's another one, 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet, 1.6 acres. This is not quite waterfront, water view. Oh, maybe it does. Oh, water view. Older home, dated. Definitely dated, but large lot for sure. And looks like, okay, might have deeded access there. Okay. So that sold for $699,000. This sold for $825,000. This thing is massive. 7-bed, 4-bath, 3,000 square feet on 1 acre. And just a short walk to the water. water view. And it looks pretty well updated. Nice room, nice windows. It even has a pool. So that was listed at $900 but sold for $825 after 9 days on market. That's interesting. And last, this sold for $985. 5 bed, 5 bath, 4,000 square feet, 0.34 acres of waterfront, built in 1997. Now, that 4,000 square feet, 2,000 above grade, 2,000 below grade. So let's take a look. Very nice. Very 90s, but nicely built. Cathedral ceilings. So there you have it. Basically, super, super tiny cottage. You're looking around $250. As you get closer to the lake, anything waterfront, even older rundown cottages, you're starting at around $400 to $450. Slightly nicer, you're moving up into the 5-6s. And if you want really nice waterfront, you're looking at about $900,000 and possibly higher. So hope that gives you a good idea of what you can get for real estate around Coventry Lake. So, hope you found this information super helpful. Coventry Lake, you will find more inventory compared to some of the other surrounding lakes. So, keep that in mind. You'll also find a vast range of some older, because you got Main Street running right through there, you will see some older 1700s, 1800s built properties. So, you will see some more small cottages that need a lot of work. And you'll see everything up to $1 million houses right on the water. So a vast range and more opportunity if you really want to get something around a lake and you're looking in this Eastern Connecticut area. If you found this helpful, please smash that like button. Share this with anyone who's looking to move to Coventry, might be interested in learning more about the lake. And thank you for tuning in. Also, subscribe for more. We cover everything you need to know about buying and selling in Connecticut, especially buying and selling at the same time in Connecticut. And if you're looking to buy a lake in the area, below we'll link to all the other lake series videos we've covered to date. You're going to want to check out those other ones. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.